have just checked and there was no sound on that whole video, and so I mean you could hear us but so faintly. So I don't know what's going on. If you happen to be tuning in again after that 20 minutes of not listening to anything we said, could you please just say hi, leave a comment on the screen that knows that I've got green lights here saying that it's working.
Now it's working.
But I don't know. I don't know if anyone can hear me or not. And we've just filmed the whole thing, so we are quickly going to do it again.
Oh.
Because...
Good practice. Oh, nah, I've just spilled goonbag on me.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, crikey.
Oh, live simply with red wine all over your shirt.
Oh,
okay.
You are kidding.
Well,
Just to show them.
I don't know.
I'm really drinking out of
look, I need somebody to comment, please, and let us know if you can hear us. We've just filmed it. You couldn't hear a thing. We've deleted it, and we're going to have to do it again.
Right.
So what I might do is just cut it right down to a couple of questions because I'm done for today.
Just rattle on. How long could it?
Well, how do we know? How do we even know if this is working?
Well,
I've got a green light last time, and it didn't work.
Was this going last time?
I don't know.
Well, mine's happening now. This is...
Well,
go, gadget,
no one comments. I need to know if you can hear us, because otherwise there's no point.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Hello.
Hello. No, everyone will just leave if we do that the whole time. So I'm just going to ask you the questions again, seeing as how we've just filmed it.
Right, okay, let's go.
Okay, we'll go again.
Hey, Darren, I hope we'll give the same answer.
Well, you better lean forward and yell into that microphone, otherwise no one will hear you again.
Oh, ghost. Right, okay, let's go.
So I'm speaking right into the microphone. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tow your tiny homes with a normal 4x4?
Okay. Can you tow? We've got a weight range from 2.5 tonne up to 4.5 tonne, and the short answer is yes, you can. We actually have our smaller model, which is a little red. It's 2.5 tonnes. You can tow it with a normal 4-wheel drive, and we have under construction a 2.4 wide model, 7.2 metres long, which is probably comparative to the rest of the tiny homes around Australia. Indications are with all of our design and stuff, it's going to come in around about 3 to 3.1 tonnes. So that means you'll be able to tow that with your larger 4-wheel drives. You won't need a Dodge Ram. You can just have a normal Prado, Pajero, Triton.
Okay.
Bit of a plug there for Mitsubishi.
Oh, that's unpaid, obviously.
No pay.
Unpaid because our flipping microphone setup's not working. So if you are watching, and I can't see a thumbs up on my phone, but if you're watching and you can hear us okay, can you just write, "We can hear you" in a comment so that we know what we're doing, that what we're doing is actually going to be able to be said. Oh, I did see a thumbs up for the first time. Thank you so much. All right.
Now we can rattle on.
What's the biggest tiny homes that you build?
Okay, we've got an 8-metre tiny home under construction, 8 metres by 3 metres. Because our tiny homes are actually 3 metres wide, in design, when we are doing our planning, we can actually max out at 8 metres long and 3 metres wide. There's no need to go any longer because we actually get everything you need within that area. I mean, this is like a granny flat on wheels. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, there's so much room in the tiny homes. That extra 600 mil in width just makes all the difference.
Yes. And if you go too much longer, you were saying before when we filmed and no one could hear it, that like a Ferrari that's low to the ground, you'll bottom out if you...
That's right, because we put 4-inch drop axles in and a combination of recessing the wheels into the tiny home to lower the floor, what that does is gives it maximum height up in the loft areas.
Okay.
And because we're actually lower to the ground, what that means is if you've got a steep driveway or a steep curb and whatnot, it's going to bottom out. So if you go too much longer than 8 metres. So,
yes.
We've got to take all those things into consideration when we're doing the length and the width and stuff, Yeah.
This question was that they have no access to their backyard. Can you get a tiny house in, even if you go over or around or through someone else's house? How do you get it in there?
Well, what I'll do, because obviously either a site visit, either via video, or actually drive there and have a look at the site just to check out for the hard access sites, we can crane a tiny homes. We've actually done one of our tiny homes deliveries. We had to crane it into a backyard. So we were fortunate there was a back laneway, so we set up a 55-ton crane. It was all pre-inspected. Myself, the crane operators, to just check it all out, look at the trees, the widths, everything we needed to do. We had to lift it a couple of metres up into a backyard. The short answer is what we do, we pre-design the tiny home with lifting lugs, and also then what happens is that when the crane sets up all his rigging gear, he has a spreader bar. What that does is keeps the straps wider than the tiny home and wider than the gutters, and then hooks into the lifting lugs at the bottom of the tiny home. So obviously the straps don't crush the tiny home and damage the tiny home. So then, so short answer is we can go over the top of a house. We can actually reach as far as probably pushing the boundaries, but with an 80-ton crane, looking at around about 45 metres. So from the centre of your boom to the centre of the tiny house in the final destination.
Wow, that's a long way.
Yeah, it's a long way, and it's pretty scary. But what we can do, obviously, if we can just drop it straight over the top of the home, then we can actually push it.
We're not dropping it. No, we'll change the words.
Maybe a bit better words there, maybe placing.
Yes, placing better. Gently on the ground.
Hey, that's what the shocks are for.
Okay, so we're just getting our class red wine there. Anyone else drink out of a cask, or is it just us? Are we the last cask drinkers in Australia? I just think if you're on a tiny home veranda, then it really doesn't matter. As you've got something, who cares, hey?
Well, normally what I do, I actually keep my flash bottles.
Oh, yes. When people come to visit us, keep their bottles and put the
in the flash bottle.
No one would know.
Hey, no, listen, I heard Alan Jones done that once. He said it on radio. So I thought that's a good idea.
Oh, and if Alan Jones did it, it's all right. Okay.
That's gold.
What flooring can I get in my tiny home?
We put a number of different floorings. We can either use sheet vinyl or vinyl planks. I like to use the vinyl because it's very durable. The reason I put sheet vinyl down is if it's a larger tiny home and we've got to keep the weight down. The vinyl's only about 50 kilos, whereas the vinyl planks, they rack up around about 170 kilos. So there's quite a weight reduction by dropping back the sheet vinyl, although my preferred is to go the vinyl planks.
Right.
So same ones we put in our house.
They're light. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice and light. And the ones we actually put in also are 100% waterproof. So, if you have, if you leave the sink run over, you're not worried about the boards swelling up and stuff,
They want to order a tiny home to be totally off-grid. So what fridge do you recommend for that?
Okay. Obviously, if you have electric fridge and electric oven, it's got to draw on your battery storage. So if you have a couple of cloudy days, you're going to run out of power. So when you start using solar, you've got to start thinking smart. And obviously you use your, for instance, your washing machine, you use it when the sun's out. And so what I would recommend, if you're going total off-grid and you've got no power source, is going for a gas fridge and the dual gas fridge and also your gas oven. And that way you're relying on your gas, and because we put the attachment with a diverter inside the front toolbox, we have access for 2 9-kilo gas bottles. So you just switch it over when one runs out.
Yes.
Switch it over, and that gives you time to slip down the servo and grab another bottle.
The servo.
Yeah, the servo.
If you're totally off grid, where's the servo? Next time you're in town, might be a month or something. But so that's a good question. How long does a 9-kilo gas bottle? Like if they say, I don't know, 2 people, 9-kilo gas bottle, using it for showers and solar for showers. So
I'm just thinking Australia Day, barbecue, beers. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah,
a
actually,
little experiment.
Might have to give that a run.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be guessing if I said 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you build studios?
studios. We've actually got a studio under construction, 8 metres long, actually 7.8 metres long, 3 metres wide. And what we're doing we're going to put a deck and an awning roof on it as well. So it's going to be like a retail studio showroom sort of setup. So we'll have the deck out the front, the awning roof over the top, and we're going to put up each end 2 sets of French doors. So what we'll do, we'll have the barn doors at night just to close it off so it looks pretty. During the day, the barn doors will crack open, have the 2 French doors at each end, but the rest of the actual tiny home, apart from a couple of windows up the top just for a bit of cross ventilation, we're going to have it pretty well no windows around the rest of the tiny home, just so you got room to put all your pictures and all your artwork or whatever you're selling. So it gives you more wall space to put your gear. And we're putting in the loft area, we're going to have 1 stair, so a solid stair will come up one side into the loft. So you'll have a loft one end, you're going to have a loft the other end, joined together. We're going to put a gantry in between the 2, so you can just once you come up the stair on the first loft, and then you can just walk around this gantry to the other loft.
Okay, so you've used this word before.
Oh, that's right.
Gantry.
When we
Gantry.
did the video earlier, I used that word.
You did, and I'm not sure if that's actually the right word. Gantry sounds like when they walk the plank on a ship.
Gantry.
So.
Yes,
is it? What is gantry? If someone's on Google and want to look up gantry, what does it actually mean?
Sounds right,
I think you've always used it for a walkway between up high off the ground, but is that right?
I know, it's got
I don't
a ring
know.
to it,
It does.
I'm happy to run with it.
I mean, it makes you sound so clever. It's
But we'll put a handrail around, so it won't be.
It's not a walk off the plank.
That's right.
Down to the underneath.
Put a handrail
on. Okay, next question. I'm a bit worried about the constant weight on the wheels if I buy a tiny home. What's your thoughts?
Okay, well, obviously your larger tiny homes around that 4.5, 4.6 tonne mark. So that's a lot of weight to have on your running gear, on your wheels, on your springs, on your axles, all the time. Especially if you're going to leave it somewhere, 12 months, 2 years. If you go to take off, you're going to have square tyres. So what we actually supply with our tiny homes is 4 2.5 tonne jacks. So not only do we use that to level the tiny home, but also what it will do is take the weight of the tiny home. So, and what we do once we deliver the tiny home, we'll take about 3/4 of the weight of the tiny home onto the jack. So that's taking all the load off your springs, off your wheels. It's not just a levelling bar like a normal caravan. These are actually jacks that jack the tiny home up to take the weight.
Got to interrupt you.
Oh.
A whole family of ducks. I don't think I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. Whole family of ducks just landed on the dam. How cute. That's so cute. Very nice. Beautiful day too, by the way. I'd love to know where you're from. If you're watching us live, where are you watching from? Are you close by us in Jamboree? Are you on the other side of Australia? Are you on the other side of the world? We'd love to know. Yeah, I think if you're on the other side of the world, it'd be like, what time of day? It'd be midnight somewhere, probably. So
actually, the dam we're inland like a bit, and we had a pelican in our dam.
Okay.
What's the go with that?
Because we have fish in there.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably no fish anymore.
I had to scare him off. Shot him. Nah, just playing with it.
So we had a question before when we filmed this earlier, and then nobody heard it, so we thought we'd do it again.
Yeah.
About Tasmania. Do you ship to Tasmania?
Tasmania, yes, we travel overseas. We've got tiny homes. Just don't say that in Tasmania; they get really cranky when you say overseas. I've done a bit of homework on the Spirit of Tasmania, and what you've got to do is book the outside deck. Because the height, 4.6 metres, obviously won't fit underneath the internal stuff. We bung it on the outside of the deck, and because we've got the hold-down lugs, which we use for in the high wind areas, they actually use those lugs to strap them down to the deck. So effectively, if the Spirit of Tasmania goes over, our tiny house is sticking with it.
Yes.
It's got to go down with the ship.
Well,
literally.
It might float. No, it wouldn't float.
No. Old polystyrene in the walls, the refrigeration part.
Who knows? But so we can get it to Tassie. That's great. All right. Well, because we've done this for the second time, I think we're all out of questions, and we're probably all out of red wine. And
if we're going to do this a third time, Dale, I'll be slurring.
Well, you've already got red wine on your shirt. So a bit of exciting news. I'm going to have to buy you a new shirt and get a new shirt made, because in January you're going to be on a TV show.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that.
Righty.
It's very exciting. With a beautiful host that Rick didn't know who she was until I showed him a picture of her, and then he's on a very get fit campaign, because he needs to impress her when she turns up. So, and all of my sons-in-law want to help out that day. Put it that way. So we'll be filming in January, and you'll see that in the new year. That's really, really exciting. More news to come on that. And thank you so much for being with us today.
Do you want to do our funny story again?
I won't do the funny story again because it's just not as good the second time around.
It'd be like if we did it the second time, it'd be like it'd be staged. And like we'd hate to stage something.
No, and there'll be another funny story for next week. Yeah. So there's always something funny happening in our house. Let me tell you.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
So thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment and let us know what you thought, or if you've got any questions, or share this to your page and show your friends what you've been watching. And we will see you next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. with a bleached shirt with that red wine stain. Black next week. That's excellent. See you later.